All right, so welcome everyone. And just as I said something about international students, we've got one international participant. So welcome to our Open Doors event. And today's event is called Q&A with an Academic Supervisor. And I have had, these few events already in the past couple of months. And what I do find is that when people write to me, prospective students or those interested in our courses or in our program, they ask the same questions. They might ask them differently, but they ask the same questions. And I thought, well, since these questions come up so often, why don't I just put them together into a file? And then maybe we can put them on a website, or maybe we can list them on Facebook so that people can find those questions, and maybe having answers to these very general questions, they can ask something more specific. So welcome again. My name is Valentina Kuskova, and I'm the Academic Supervisor of the Master's Program called Applied Statistics with Network Analysis. So today's questions are broken up into several groups. First of all, of course, is an introduction, because I want to tell you why we actually have this session. The first block of questions is this program for me? Of course, I can almost never answer for you whether this program is for you. Actually, well, I can tell you when the program is not for you. That is easy. But whether the program is for you is difficult to say, yet there are some pointers that I can give you so that you can figure out whether or not it's a good program. Then, of course, there is a question of finances, because this program is fee-based, and as much as we would like to make it more affordable, it's not easy, but we'll talk to you about some of the financial issues. And we'll talk about business analytics track and computational social sciences tracks. Those are special tracks within the program that are just opening up this year, and of course there are lots of questions. Then I will tell you about the general track that we offer, and then of course there are just some things about us and the final caveats about the program. So as I said, this presentation will be available, and each of these highlighted links is linked to the specific place in the presentation where you can jump. I'm going to go, of course, in sequence. So the intro, right? So why this session again? The program has now been in existence for 3 years, and the same questions show up again and again, starting from the very first opening of the program 3 years ago. Yet the program grows, so new questions appear as well. So this is really the place to get them all at once. The format might be silly because some questions I actually copied verbatim, because they appear so often that I thought, well, if people ask this question, I'm going to answer it just the way it's stated. We also have a website in Russian and English. You can follow us on Facebook, Vkontakte, and Instagram. They also say we have a TikTok account. I haven't checked out TikTok account yet. I'm real excited about seeing MASNA with cats, because I hear that cats are the most popular on TikTok. But anyway, check out our social media websites, because there's actually a lot more information about the program on social media than on the official HEC website, because the official HEC website is somewhat stiff and still needs a lot of work. So before we go any further, I want to introduce you to a very special person. His name is Charles Norman Beckert. He goes by Norm. As you can tell from the photo, he's kind of old. I have to tell you, he's very old, because he was my professor when I was an MBA student 20 years ago. Okay, so at that time, he was already a retired professional. He was working at a company called Boise Cascade, and when he retired, when he actually went on his pension, he decided that he's going to teach. He was the most boring guy ever. And I often tell the story of how my career track started. He was instrumental. I'm not going to bore you with that story, but he was instrumental in getting me an internship from which my life changed. Then he was my mentor and advisor. He told me I should go into corporate planning, which is actually business analytics, and I did. He offered much useful advice. Occasionally, you can see him commenting still on my Facebook profile. So he's still around. He's got to be over 90 years old, but he's still very active. And there's one amazing quality about him. He has changed a lot of lives. I mean, I know a lot. I know his former students. So one day when we were meeting for lunch, and I was very grateful to him. And I was thanking him again for all the opportunities he has provided to me. He said, I only opened the door for you. You still had to walk through it. So the success you enjoy now is your success and yours alone. And you know, I realized how true that is, because there's so many doors that are open for us, and lots of times we simply do not take that walk. So when we don't take advantage of the opportunity provided to us, that is just pretty much as bad as not having that opportunity at all. So I just realized that this is my life's motto, and I realized this is the program's motto, because this program, we call it MASNA, Master of Applied Statistics with Network Analysis. It is a lot about opening doors and providing opportunities, but you have to walk through those doors. And as I will talk to you today about our students, I will highlight some of their successes, because they have walked through the open doors. They have taken advantage of those opportunities. And I think this is one of the most unique things that our program offers. It offers the opportunities. It helps you become the best that you can be. So is this program for me? Okay. So like I said, I can tell you when the program is not for you. And there are several cases when that is true. But whether it's for you, it's difficult to say. And questions in this blog somewhat grouped into several. So the first one that comes up all the time, that there are programs on data science, data analysis, mathematical statistics. Where do you fit? Okay, so it's always a difficult question to answer, because I don't want to put other programs down. I want to say that at HEC or elsewhere, okay, each program is unique. Each program has a lot to offer. For each program is tailored to specific people. So there are programs that are right for everyone. And I say that there are lots of programs in data analysis offered at HEC also, at the Faculty of Economic Sciences, at the Faculty of Computer Sciences. And you won't go wrong with any of those programs, because each of them is good if it's the right program for you. So you have to choose the right program for you. So the mathematical statistics is actually the mother of all sciences, right? It teaches you to prove theorems. So that, you know, you have this, you know, wonderful theorem of central limit theorem that's at the heart of all the statistics. And this is something that everyone who has taken a baby stats course has been exposed to. They show you how to prove this theorem. They explain to you why it works, except that's it. Okay, so mathematical statistics gives you closed form solutions. It gives you theorem to prove. It doesn't teach you how to apply those theorems in real life. So what I have seen a lot as a statistics professor, and I've been teaching statistics for 20 years, is that people can write out a formula for average standard deviation. They can specify, they can actually cite out what the central limit theorem says. They have no idea how to use all of that. Okay, so mathematical statistics is good for those who want to develop new mathematical methods of data analysis. Now, data science programs, and we actually are kind of at a disadvantage over here, because data science as a topic somehow been hijacked by computer science departments. They claim that data science is about what they do. Well, they teach you to generate code, lots of code, and solve lots of mathematical or statistical problems by writing more code. For example, in networks, it's all about nodes and links, right? Well, data science programs will teach you how to find another more efficient algorithm for link prediction. But again, that has very little to do with real life. Now, that is not for everyone, but some people are quite excited about coding and finding coding solutions, and it's really what they're after. If that's what they're after, that's the program for you. Now, now in our program, we teach you to code, but you don't have to code. I mean, there are just general statistical packages that you can use. So basically, the traditional approaches to even advanced statistical learning require you to expand statistical methods, find better methods for doing something, but it doesn't actually mean that they will teach you to use them on real data. I want to give you an example. We have a sister lab that's led by Professor Fuad Tagievich-Eliskerov. He's also working on networks. He has published a paper very recently on 4 more new methods of measuring centrality. Well, centrality is an index in networks. Those of you who don't know networks, don't bother. But there are hundreds, like over 400 or 500 of different measures of centrality. So we have 400 methods. He has developed 4 new ones. He has no idea what to do with them. So he actually said, well, take my centrality indices and see if you can apply them somewhere. So that's the essence of mathematical statistics, data science, and some other programs that teach you to code or find new methods. If that's for you, great. But what we teach you is we teach you to solve real life problems by making sense of data. So basically it's data analysis for all types of problems, but they're problems in real life, right? The ones that arise around us all the time. And in my 20 years of teaching statistics, I find often that people cannot connect problems, data, and methods. They finish statistical courses, they have no idea how to use the methods they've learned or why they use the methods they learned. Most of the time, they take cause-effect relationships, reduce them to correlational analysis, and I'm about ready to cry when I read students' term papers. Okay, so we use problem-oriented approach. We teach you to formulate problems first and foremost. So basically, you formulate a question first. Then we teach you how to find data that can help you answer your question. And then based on the question and the data that are available, you select the appropriate method. Now, you also learn that there are many solutions to the same problem. You can solve the same problem many times. You can also we teach you how to find an optimal solution, because there is such a thing as an optimal solution, or we teach you that there may not be a solution at all. So it's entirely possible that you can't solve a problem, and that's actually a solution itself. Okay, so we offer different tracks that help you learn the applied approach to problem solving. So we're not about coding, even though we teach you to code. Okay, we are not about developing new methods, even though we have some people who have written papers on developing new methods. We are actually combining all the better parts of statistics with real life, making it actually meaningful. Again, our approach is not for everyone. You have to figure out whether what we offer actually corresponds to what you want to do. The next question that I face a lot is statistics is based on mathematics, and only mathematicians can teach statistics, and why some of your professors are not mathematicians. In fact, I just had to deal with this question last week, discussing a course in statistics, and someone was insisting on having a mathematician teach the course, a basic statistics course for applied group of colleagues. Now, mathematics is important, okay? So for every course we offer, we actually have a stack of mathematical formulas if you want them, okay? In fact, some of our professors, and we have excellent professors from all over the world, they are delightful at how they explain difficult mathematical concepts. So you can get all the math you can carry, okay? However, what I want to say is mathematics scares people from statistics and data analysis. People say, oh, I'm bad at math, this is not for me, I will never be able to do data analysis. Nothing can be further from the truth, okay? We live in the world where there are so many different statistical packages available that you do not have to do statistical analysis by hand anymore. What you have to learn is the meaning of each method, how to read the output, and how to modify your analysis so that your results become more meaningful. You don't need to know the mathematical engine behind it. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to. And we have quite a few students that are becoming quite successful at applying methods, and in fact even expanding these methods, but not really doing the math behind it, okay? So math is required to know how certain methods work, but if you trust that the coding is done right, and that is true with state-of-the-art modern statistical packages such as SAS and Stata, okay, then you can go ahead and just do the analysis, okay? So you have to learn the question, data, method cycle, but once you know that, you don't have to learn the math. Now, you will realize that as the more you use the methods, the more meaningful the math becomes. And before you know it, you actually become good at math. Right now in this room, in this chat room, there is a person who said at one point in time to me, Valentina Viktorovna, I never thought I would say this, but where are the formulas looking at someone's presentation? Okay, so he was our student. He wasn't very good at math when he started. He started to understand math much better as he was a part of the program. Okay, Now, as far as professors are concerned, not all of our professors are mathematicians by their first education. However, they all have had advanced training in applied statistics, in data analysis, in decision sciences, or in some other courses. My own first background is in psychology, and then I have a master's of business administration degree, but my PhD is in decision sciences, and I have a standalone master's in applied statistics. So we do have advanced preparation necessary, even if we're not mathematicians by the original education. Here's another question. I am very good with math. Can I learn something in your program? Again, mathematics is important, as I said already, but math is an exact science, okay? Math requires what is called a closed form solution. In real life, closed form solutions often don't exist. So you can sometimes solve something with a formula. And what can mathematicians learn in our program? Well, simulation modeling, decision sciences approach, which is lots of times involves stochastic optimization that cannot be solved with just math. They can find solutions for data that are not independent, identically distributed. They can learn to decompose measurement error. Believe it or not, there are no data without an error. Lots of mathematicians don't believe that. In fact, I had a discussion with one of the students once who just could not understand how can you get data with an error. You can, in mathematics, everything is simple, right? You have an x and you have an x squared, and x squared is an exact square of an x, right? Well, what he failed to realize is that in real life, nothing is exact. So you can learn networks, efficiency estimation, multi-level modeling, a lot of different approaches to data analysis that mathematical programs don't teach simply because they don't need to, because they teach closed form solutions, okay? If you're serious about data analysis, your mathematical skills might actually be very useful. They can take you further faster, but they're not necessarily required. And our program, you get a diploma in applied mathematics and informatics. We don't advertise it heavily, but we're actual mathematicians, okay? So our graduates become mathematicians when they get the official certified diplomas. I have quite a few students and prospective students who say, I want to learn to code in Python. Do you teach that? Okay, so here's that one point where I can say this program is not for you. If all you want is to learn to code in Python, then you should go to computer science. We do teach Python, but this program is not about Python. Okay, for some reason right now Python is the most popular programming language. From my perspective, from where I stand, and I have learned to code when Fortran was the state of the art, right? It's only one of the available languages. It's popular, but it's actually not very applicable to every task, and it's not as flexible, and it's not as powerful as, let's say, C#. So yes, you can learn to code in Python. And but the problem is quite a few analytical problems or models are not even designed for Python yet. R, which is another program, another language that's widely used, it's actually a code for statistical computing, is actually much, much better at statistical analysis than Python. And we actually heavily use R. We start from scratch, but then we pick it up very quickly. You can code all your work in Python, or C, or Julia, whatever language you prefer. So we don't limit you to a specific software. However, in our program, we teach you that there is no one universal method, program language, to solve different problems. So you can't just take a hammer, right, and use it as your only tool for everything. So we don't have hammers, we have a full toolbox. And we know that there are different software packages that are best for specific tasks. Literal, well, you know, some things are still better in M+, but Literal is best for structural equations modeling. It's much better than R, Python, or anything else out there. There is nothing better for time series analysis than Stata. It was time series analysis is best implemented in Stata, and some additional subroutines that are written for Stata are much more powerful than what is available in R or Python. SAS is best for categorical data analysis, and so on. I mean, overall, you're exposed to about 20 different software packages in our program. Each of them has their own specific purpose. Our favorite, of course, is PIAC. That's a program that's designed for networks by our lab's scientific supervisor, Vlado Betagel. It's the only non-commercial program that can take 10 billion nodes. Okay, no other program, even if it's put on Hadoop, if it's like SAS SAM, which SAS SAM is actually horrible, but I don't know of any other program that is that powerful, okay? So we use specific programs for specific purposes. If your goal is to learn how to code in Python, that's not the place for it, okay? And we teach you the most efficient packages for each particular task, okay? All right, so here's that one question that comes up all the time. It says, I've seen profiles of your students, they're cool, they're successful. What if I'm not good enough? Now, I have to say, I really do not believe in that gadget says good enough, okay? If you want to learn data analysis, you're good and you're enough, okay? You already understand that there are data out there and that you can analyze it and that you can make sense out of data. That's all that really is required to succeed in our program. You have to want to do this. But our program is not for everyone. Even though we have a very low dropout rate, I mean, every year we only have 1 or 2 students drop from the program, which is very low for master's level. Quite a few students still have dropped out. And those who dropped were actually not the weakest student. I actually felt really bad last year because the student who dropped out actually received a scholarship from us. So with her, the scholarship was gone and I felt so bad because I thought, well, someone else could have enjoyed it, right? Those who remained in the program were not the strongest students. In fact, one of the students who was a star when he graduated, when I first saw him, I thought, I'm not going to give him more than a month. He won't survive. He did, and he not only survived, he thrived. So if you have a Facebook, if you're Russian speaking, here is a link to my reflection on what the students are about, because the first couple of years, I couldn't quite understand what makes our students unique. I could understand they were unique, but I didn't know how. Now I do. After 3 years of teaching MASNA students, there are several things that stand out and that make them unique from any other program. Well, first of all, our education is not free. And because they pay for their program, they pay for their education, they come for knowledge. They don't come for just the diploma. Those who want diploma, they usually don't make it, okay? Second, they work together to make program better. There is a lot of feedback from students. MASNA is not just a program, it's a community. They support each other all the time. They really are each other's lifeblood and mission support. I mean, truly, they help each other, they share, they collaborate, they talk to each other in chat rooms long after having graduated. One of my most active Telegram groups is MASNA graduates from last year. They post something all the time, they ask each other questions. So they remain a community even after having finished the program. I mean, professional community, they don't just hang out. They're very open to new experience. Actually, it's a personality trait. It's called openness to experience. You can Google it if you don't know what it's about, but it's actually a willingness of a human being to learn something new. We take a personality test upon the program entry, because I'm a psychologist by first education, and over 80% of our students score higher than average, many substantially higher than average on openness to experience trait. So they self-select into this program. Okay, this program is unique. It offers unique opportunities. They recognize those opportunities. They self-select into this. They're very open to what awaits them. And they're very eager to grab anything new and exciting. And of course, they make the best out of MASNA educational experience. So it's almost like, there's a vicious cycle, right? This is a positive vicious cycle. We attract students who are open to experience, and because they're open to experience, they make the best of the experience they get, okay? They walk through those open doors. They're also dreamers. You should see their papers. When we don't limit our students on the topics for their master's thesis, and they look for exoplanets. They research tennis and football. They research music. They dive into things that are interesting for them. And because they love their topic, they spend so much time with them, with those topics, they produce excellent papers. Now, for the second year in a row, we have external committee members. Our external committee members who are working in data analysis field in places like Burbank, they are in awe of how much our students actually accomplish and the level of work that they produce. Okay, so our students really are dreamers and they make their dreams come true. They also live their life to the fullest. When I see at the range of their hobbies and what they do, it's actually exciting. They play guitar, they play harp, they dance, they sing, they volunteer. They have hobbies, they have families. We have quite a few students with not just one but two children. One of them now has 3 children. So they just don't sit on the couch and complain, right? They live their life and they're awesome, okay? So basically, if you're awesome, if you're here, I think you might be awesome, then this program is for you. So it's not about your mental abilities, because if you have finished an undergrad program, you probably are more than capable of acquiring data analytic methods. It's really about your personality, and that's what makes this program so unique. So is it for you? Here's the motto of our program, right? We want you to be the best that you can be, and our motto is written in the language of mathematics. This is the formula for average. Of course, this is B greater than average. Okay, so when we say that MASNA is unique and that's the best program of its kind in Russia, we really mean it. Okay, it's not the best just because it's the only one. It's the best because it's true. It's the best because of the wide range of courses we offer, wonderful professors we have, but most importantly because of the students and now alumni that we attract to our program who have walked through the doors that were open for them. So we give the best career choices possible and the best doors that you can take advantage of, okay? That positive note, I'm going to move to finances. And one question I get quite a bit is, why should I pay for this program if I can get the same education for free? Now, I want to say that, yes, our program is fee-based. It's not our choice. My colleagues at the lab have probably heard me say hundreds of times, give me a few budget slots, I'll find students for those budget slots, right? It's not our choice. That's the conditions we have to live under. But I have to say, I highly doubt you can get the same education for free. Okay, you can get a similar education, but not the same education. And similarity is not equal to identity, right? So what is different in the fee-based program? Not just our program, but in general, but of course, especially applicable to ours. First of all, it's flexibility. Because we have the money, we can invite the world-renowned professors from all over the world. Budget programs cannot do that. They don't have the money to do so. They have very strict limits of how many foreign professors they can invite. So even if they have an invited professor, it may be for 1 or 2 courses, not for more than half of them, okay? The second one is quality. We offer what I call the best foreign education you can buy without leaving Russia. This is because professors like Rudesh and Friedel and Batagel and Ferligoy, you can find them, 1 or 2 of them, in good departments and good universities, but not all in the same place. We actually collect them all in the same place. Okay, so we bring the best professors from different universities to HEC. So we have these stars teaching in our program, and that's really a unique offering. I mean, there are very few programs in the world that I know that have this ability. In fact, I really don't know very many. Actually, I don't know any. I would just suspect the programs like Ivy League, like Harvard, maybe have all-stars teaching there. But my own education is from Indiana University. It's a top 100, actually top 20 schools in the US in the field of statistics. And my statistical courses were taught by 2 Chinese assistant professors. Yeah, we had a couple of stars. I proudly say that I was taught by Karen Kafadar, who was the last student of 2K, but she was the only one, right? Here we have those Karen Kafadars for almost every course. Now, choice. You do have a very large choice of courses. Our program, now I don't remember, of course, exactly, but I think there are 14 courses altogether you have to take. 4 of them are required, the rest are optional. And these optional courses, you can choose from over 30 course offerings. And it's not the same course all over, it's different courses. It's Bayesian methods and text analysis and machine learning and categorical data analysis, stochastic, and I don't know what else. So we give you a lot of choices. Lots of budget programs, yes, there are elective courses, but it's Mago-Lego courses, which you have to take at HEC with hundreds of other master students, or it's 2 courses out of any 3, right? So you are really limited in the choice of course you can take. In our program, it's actually a very wide choice. Plus, we now have expanded our offering by including business analytics track. Now, the next thing is the opportunity. Okay, so it's academic mobility, including international conferences. Quite a few of our students have actually accompanied us to international conferences, including the top conference in networks called Sunbelt. Every year, except for this year, of course, we're not going anywhere, but the past couple of summers, students of the program who were not a part of the laboratory still went with us to those conferences. You can actually go into exchange programs. Now we have a double degree program. You can have your thesis supervised by a foreign professor. So it's not that they just teach for us, they also work with you on an individual basis, supervising your work. And you can get employed in our lab, which actually is objectively the largest network lab in Russia. Okay, that's our home. And basically for the money that you get to pay for this program, we open more doors than any other program that I know of. Second one is, I really like your program, but I don't have money to pay for it. Can you give me a scholarship? We get this question quite a bit from international students, but also it comes up from Russian students. And again, the fact that the program is fee-based is not our choice. We do believe that education should be affordable, and we do provide a wide range of opportunities. We don't give a full scholarship. That is not possible under the fee structure that exists at HSC, but we can give a discount up to 50% for eligible applicants on a competitive basis. Our scholarships are merit-based only, so just because someone doesn't have the money doesn't mean we're going to give them the money, right? So we only offer discounts to those who have earned them with their prior achievements. There are lots of stipends. They're external stipends, but like Potanin Fund or Media Zone or some other ones, those stipends are available. In fact, some of our students have gotten multiple stipends and were quite successful. So yes, it's an open door. You have to walk through it. You have to work for the money you get, but you can find money. Now, there are paid competitions. This year, I mean, you can ask how difficult they are. Two of our students, it's a couple, who have won not just one, but two international Kaggle competitions. Those are worldwide competitions with hundreds of entries from all over the world. These guys took two prize slots. First time it was a second place. Second time it was a first place for a total prize money of $18,000. Yes, that's in US dollars. Okay, that's more than paid for the education for both of them. Okay, you can talk to them to see if it was difficult. If you hear them talk, they will say, no, it was easy. Okay. Now we can help you find a job in the field of data analysis. We have an official partnership with SAS, and they will be very eager to take our students as interns or as data analysts. We can employ you at the lab. And even though that might sound trivial, but our classes are at night. So technically, you can work, and actually most of our students work during the day and earn the money to pay for school. There are educational loans. They're interest-free while you're at school. They're reduced interest once you graduate. I can't say I'm a fan of school loans. I have a school loan myself, but I think it's a very viable option because the education that you get allows you to go on further than you could without. There's another question comes up all the time. I can pay a little at a time, not at once. Can I spread my payments? Yes. You can make your payments. First of all, you pay one semester at a time. So 390,000 rubles that the education costs this year, you do not have to pay all at once. You pay 185 the first semester and 185 the second. But then you can also make a small down payment and spread the rest of the payments for the rest of the semester. So basically you can spread it over 4 months, and it becomes much more easier to afford. Next question is, can you return taxes on the money paid for the program? I have to say I'm not a tax advisor, but I actually have seen students return the money very successfully. So the 13% income tax that you will have paid on this amount of the school tuition, I mean, it's not a whole lot of money, but I mean, it's 52,000 rubles. It's nothing to sniff at. It's almost a 25% discount to our program. You can actually return. You can pay with maternity capital, and yes, there are discounts for HSC employees. We follow the same discount fee structure as the entire university. So our discount can be up to 100% of program fees, depending on the number of years you have worked for the university. All right, business analytics track. That's a new track. That's our new baby that we're very excited about. And the question is why offer it, and aren't there business schools for that? So, well, after 3 years of the program, what we have realized is that the overwhelming majority of our students go into business. Okay, they go into business analytics at good companies, at large multinational companies. And good analytics there is of utmost importance. Well, what we have thought is that in addition to good analytical background that we provide, we should actually help them get targeted training in applied business analysis. Now, our degree is in applied mathematics and informatics. I want to emphasize that just because you choose a business analytics track, you don't become a master of management. You're still a master of applied mathematics and informatics. So you're an analyst first and foremost. And you can work, of course, then in any field, not just management. Now, business schools offer management degrees. So when you, even if you get a degree in business analytics from a business school, it will be master of management. So basically what that means is that when you apply for an analyst job with a Master of Management degree, you have to prove your worth first, right? You have to say, well, yes, I know something about analytics. But if they really want to be good analysts, business degree is simply not sufficient. Because in most business schools, even the best business schools, you would have only 1 or 2 basic statistical courses, regression and correlation. That's about it, right? And that's just not enough to do any serious analysis. So why do we think we offer business analytics? We partnered with HEC Business School in St. Petersburg for many reasons. First of all, because it's an English language program. Second, because it has double degree with several schools in Europe. Third, because a lot of professors there are foreign professors, just like our program. So they're very similar in quality. So we know there will not be any reduction in quality of teaching. And we partnered with them so that our students can take targeted applications. They're still analysts, but they will take targeted applications in people analytics, sport analytics, marketing, or strategy. Now, we're still offering the analytics part of it, right? Unified structured approach to data analysis, but they offer the application. Now we have a track supervisor. Her name is Elena Belina. She's one of our graduates, very successful graduate with that. And not only she became a very successful business analyst, she's already taking leadership roles in the field. So she's only been out for a year, but that doesn't really prevent her from becoming known in the field where she works. And we think that because she became successful so quickly, she can mentor others from a very practical perspective, not the theoretical perspective as business schools do. Because what do business schools do? They teach you business. They don't actually mentor you, right? So that's, I think, the major advantage of this track. The computational social sciences track is a second one. And just like with business analysis, again, we found it by experience. We realized that our graduates are looking for ways to enhance their chances of entering a PhD program. So we have 8 graduates currently out of less than 40 who have graduated. So that's quite a bit, right? Who chose to connect their lives to academia. And basically, this is a track that offers diverse education in all things computational. Okay, so why do we call it computational social sciences, right? Well, that's because the social sciences is the most difficult field of scientific inquiry. Okay, so if you think about it, every science is defined by theory and method. Okay, all natural sciences have well-defined theories. They have agreed upon method. Now, the world for a while was running with Newtonian physics, but now theory of relativity appears to be much better. Then somebody talks about string theory. So they run around with those theories and they test them, right, using agreed upon method. In social sciences, nothing is agreed upon. So yes, physicians are facing many challenges, but nobody seems to be questioning the theory of gravity, right? The same way that people question the theory of leadership or social movement. And when you think of a method, I really cannot think of any scientific method in physics that can prove at the same time that Earth is both flat and non-flat. Okay, we don't have Schrodinger's Earth. It's either flat or it's non-flat. Now in social sciences, you can get the same subjects, ask them the same questions and get exactly opposite results. Now that is, of course, very challenging. And that's because the data are unreliable, but worse than that, methods are not applied accurately, lots of times. So what do we teach? We teach people to formulate research questions accurately, find data that can answer those research questions, and select appropriate methods. What I see very often is that there's a huge disconnect between the topic, the hypothesis, the research question, the data, and the method. So it's almost like they each are standalone, somehow just stuck together in one term paper. I don't know how people do that, but they manage. So what we try to do is we teach people scientific thinking applicable to social sciences, starting with a model-based thinking. And once we teach them to think differently, then any PhD program is an easy choice. And actually thinking differently is one of the more important aspects of studying in MASNA program. You will never think of data the same way, ever. Would teach you to think differently, okay? On networks being the general track and other questions not asked elsewhere, right? So now that we offer tracks, do you have to choose a track? No. Okay, we have two tracks, business analytics and computational social sciences, but if you don't want either of those, you remain a part of the general track, or the networks track as we call it. That's universal MASNA education that we offered for 3 years before we had tracks. Okay, so you can just take the broad range of courses, including network analysis. You don't have to specialize. Now, what if I can't attend classes? Can I take classes online? Yes, COVID taught us that we can offer classes online. In fact, we actually had lots of requests in the past to attend our classes from other parts of Russia. Well, don't know about the world, but Russia definitely, because people couldn't move to Moscow for whatever reason. And we didn't think it was possible. We didn't think it was ready. We didn't think there was technical capabilities. Now COVID comes and we realize that yes, we can, we're capable, and there are technical capabilities, right? So now all of our courses will have an option of online attendance. And it's not only limited to those who live somewhere elsewhere. It can be someone who lives in Moscow, but let's say got stuck in traffic, they can just connect to the class, or got sick and they can still connect to the class and attend it. So you can do it from the comfort of your home for one class, many classes, all of them, it's up to you. Now, if classes are offered online, can they be recorded? And can I just watch videos of lectures? The short answer is no. Okay. The main reason is that our world-renowned professors do not, many of them do not allow us to record them for many reasons. Okay. But there is another reason for it. We don't want this to become a mail order diploma. We are not Coursera. Okay. We want this education to remain as interactive and as informative as possible. When people participate via Zoom, they can still ask questions. We can break them up into group meetings and have them do a group exercise. They can still be a part of the educational experience, okay? Watching a recorded lesson, it's like, you know, you can't. It's like watching your life go by and you watch it, you know, like watching a movie without participating in it. I mean, would you want your whole life to be a movie? Probably not. So nothing recorded. It's available online, but only via active participation in Zoom. Academic mobility options. Well, first of all, starting with the incoming class of 2020, we're offering a double degree diploma with University of Ljubljana. We're also working on a triple degree, potentially, or a double degree with one of the Italian universities. Now, all MASNA students have always been eligible for HEC University Exchange programs. Many have taken competitive slots, quite a few have gone. There are also non-program based exchange opportunities when you can just go for a few weeks during the last module of your education to Ljubljana, or you can go to one of the partner labs in the US. It's not an official exchange program, but we arrange it still officially through our exchange agreements with our partners. And you can travel for several weeks, work with your scientific supervisor, take classes. So basically that would be like almost an ad hoc exchange experience. Now, do I have to enroll your entire program, or can I take individual courses? The request for individual courses has actually been around also for quite a while. Starting this spring, again, thanks to Zoom and COVID, we started offering our courses on individual basis. So there are positives and negatives to that. Of course, all courses have official certificates. You can take credits. They can be counted towards a degree because you will get an official certificate. However, I want to emphasize again that MASNA is more than just education. It's an experience. And it's very, very difficult to get the experience if you only take one course or two courses. In fact, just by listening to one course, let's say even Rudish, you know, he's one of our best professors, Friedel, you know, who is teaching multi-level modeling. They're awesome. But by taking that course, I don't know if you would get the full picture of what is going on. Because what happens is you get different courses on different topics throughout, you know, a year and a half, 2 years at MASNA. But then it comes together in the form of a dissertation, in the form of a consulting class, in some of the project works that you do. When you actually start aggregating all this knowledge and putting it together, that will not happen if you only take 1 or 2 courses. So for that purpose, if you only want to take 1 of the 2 courses, Coursera is available, Data Camp is available, you won't get the experience. So while we are actively inviting you to try it out, to see what MASNA is about, I don't think it's really the best experience. So I hope that even if you take only 1 or 2 courses, you will come back eventually and enroll in the entire MASNA program. And in fact, in 45 minutes or so, I have finished the frequently asked questions. And instead of talking about the MASNA Home, the lab, and some of the other things that I have talked about previously, I should probably just open this up to questions in case there are some questions that I haven't addressed. So please let me know if you have questions. I'll be happy to answer. No questions. Clear as mud. A big section.
Добрый вечер. Мы же можем на русском задавать вопросы? Мы договорились?
Да, можно на русском, конечно.
Ага, у меня
На
такой
самом
вопрос.
деле, я сейчас закончу запись.